All right, I'm gonna just jump right into it, man, because my intro game is terrible. It's just terrible. I don't know how to do my intros. I know everybody on there just be like, "What's up, y'all?" You know who it is. I don't do it right. It never comes out right. I just like, "Yo, what up? It's your boy." I'm like, nah, that's not it. That's not it. Yo, you know what it is? Like they don't even know what it is. They don't know what it is yet because it's the first show. So I'm gonna just basically jump right into it. You know what I'm saying? Just get straight to the show right now. What up, y'all? Anyway, this is On Deck Media TV. I go by the host. See, I be messing all that up. Try to do an intro. Anyway, my name is Chase. On Deck Media TV. And right now we talking sports. And as you can see from behind me, I'm a Knick fan, and that's what it is. I got Star J right there, Patrick Ewing. That's it. I think that's my levels. You'll understand why in a minute. Let me explain about myself real quick. Grew up a Dr. J fan, so that should tell you how old I am. I go way back before Michael Jordan. Dr. J was Michael Jordan. He was the dude, and that was it. I was a Sixers fan. Wherever he would have went, whatever team Dr. J would have played for, that's what team I was rooting for. I was a Dr. J fan. And then as he started getting old, kept losing to the Celtics, losing to the Lakers. It was hurt. It was hurt. They won one, but actually they did win one in my lifetime, and the Knicks is not in my lifetime. So we'll discuss that. We'll discuss that. So Dr. J, once he started to fade away, he started to go down. I was watching this college team that had the black head coach, and he was on. It was like the Big East tournament, and it was like I saw the black coach with the towel over his shoulder, and I'm like, he got a little swag, and the team was black, and I'm like, oh, black head coach, I want to watch this. What's going on? And there was a player on there named Michael Jackson. I was a big Michael Jackson fan. I just started watching that college team. I never really watched college basketball. It was because of those two things. And they just happened to have a player on that team by the name of Patrick Ewing. And Patrick Ewing was just dominating. I just seen him doing everything, blocking shots, scoring, dunking on people. And I'm like, oh, Michael Jackson wasn't that good, but Patrick Ewing, he was a beast. So it was like, wow, that's crazy. Then after, Dr. J started fading away a little bit, and the Knicks got the number one pick through the lottery, which was the first ever NBA lottery. The Knicks got the number one pick. And it just happened to be that dude from Georgetown that I saw dominating, Patrick Ewing. Bugged me out. I'm like, uh-oh, it's the Knicks. Knicks was trash when I was growing up. The Knicks was trash. I mean, I remember the Knicks beat the 76ers back in the day. They had like Rory Sparrow and Darryl Walker. They had that squad, and they was just not. Nobody cared about them. But then Patrick Ewing came, and he brought a little fire to the New York area. I'm from the Bronx, and I'm like, okay, now they talking about the Knicks now. Now what we talking about? And now let's fast forward all of that, because if you're a Knicks fan that far, you know what happens after that. You know the whole story. You know the whole timeline. The Reggie Miller, the layups, the LJ, this, yeah. We know all of it. If you don't know it, you're not a Knicks fan. We know all of it. We still lived through it. It's like it happened yesterday. I know you know where you at. You know where you sat when Larry Johnson hit that 4-point play. You know what you was drinking. You know what you was eating. Everything. You could smell it. The smell was different. So yes, we all know it. We know about the Reggie Miller. So everything is there. So I just want to fast forward real quick. Talk about what's going on now. Right now, after going through all the hurt, the traumas, the Porzingis, and all of this, brings me back to the lottery. And I want to talk about the lottery, because I don't think the Knicks, if you know the Knicks, like we all know the Knicks, and you've been following this whole timeline like I've been saying, you know that the lottery has not been good to us. We actually disrespected the lottery. And I believe that's why we've been so bad over the years. Because you have to draft your stars. That's the way it's gone. from when I started watching basketball, watching a great show on HBO Max, Winning Time, to see how Dr. Jerry Buss got Magic Johnson through a coin toss, and how that draft, by drafting Magic Johnson, changed the whole trajectory of the Lakers. They were nothing. It was nobody cared about it. You draft Magic Johnson and boom, and now we see where they've gone and how they've been. You have to draft the stars. So the Knicks, they say that it was rigged. It was rigged when we got Patrick Ewing. The Knicks rigged it. David Stern did something about something, and the envelope was frozen, so he knew which one it was. Whatever. We got the break. And we got Patrick Ewing. Superstar center. Superstar. One of the best to ever do it, period. He done took the Knicks from who I didn't even care when I was little, and the Knicks beat the Sixers, and I think I got Rory Sparrow's autograph. I didn't care. To a team now, you got Patrick Ewing. Now we mean something. Now we actually fighting for the playoffs and stuff like that. That meant something, man. That was big. Patrick Ewing comes in, dominates, and we get the break. They said it was rigged. We got Patrick Ewing. He was the prize. He was the star. And then year after year after year, disrespecting the draft, trading picks, doing certain things in the draft that just don't make sense to this day. We end up here, this season right now, to where it was supposed to be a trade for Donovan Mitchell. And I'm on Twitter, and I'm hearing fans saying, man, we finally get a star. Let's trade this, trade that, whatever. I don't care. We need to bring a star to the Garden. Bring Spider home. Bring Spider home. I'm like, we trading all of this stuff? And it brings me back to like Patrick Ewing. When's the last time we had a draft pick that we cared about? That was a star in the league that the league cared about. That was ours, homegrown, picked by us. Not through a trade, not through free agency, which the Knicks keep trying to do every time. Like, hey, let's sell them. Let's sell the Knicks. Just sell them New York City. Just come to here. We're going to get them. Let another team build them up. All pretty looking. Let them get to all-star material and do all of this stuff, man. And then now, once we going to sell it, how we going to get them? We going to get them to the Garden? Sell them the Knicks. Sell them the Garden. Sell them playing. No, they coming to the Garden, they dropping 50 on us. And still getting love. Why you want to play in the Garden? Kevin Durant was dropping 50 in the Garden against us. Kyrie Irving was killing us. And they were still giving him love then. Actually, they don't even get no love if they actually in the city, but that's neither here nor there. Because I want to get back to the lottery. And how for the first time in a long time that we have draft picks that's homegrown. That's potential. I know Tom Thibodeau doesn't like potential. That's why I think he's the wrong coach for this team. But come on, man. When's the last time? Draft picks that was homegrown, here, bad, and have potential to be somebody. We don't know what Obi could be. We don't know what RJ could be. The kid got better every year. Every year. I'm telling you right now, if Tibbs play him right, he could do something. No, Tibbs just want the already made stars. Like, he should just go to the Lakers or something. Like, coach that team. You want the vets. Like, these guys are young and they need a young coach. They need somebody that's willing to be versatile. Just know how to change lanes if things is going different. We have a team. Man, we have a solid team where we could play different. We could play the slow down ISO ball. We could play the speed it up, run it up and down the court. They have those type of players, but you need that type of coach, man. And Thibodeau's not. But let's get back to the lottery again. Because we have to go back to the lottery, man, because every team has done well in the lottery. That's why you see Utah. Utah, here's the difference. Some teams want to retool. Some teams want to rebuild. Some teams want to like whatever, get a little readjustment here and there. When you rebuilding, everybody goes. And when you bring young guys in, you play those young guys until you find a star. You just play them. You play whatever. You draft. It's a lottery. You get in the lottery, you might be to get the number one pick. Not everybody's a LeBron or a Tim Duncan. Not everybody's a slam dunk or AI. Those guys was easy, but sometimes you get lucky. You get lucky, you find the right one. Right? Giannis was picked 15th. Kawhi, Leonard, all of these guys, like you get a break because it's the lottery. If you develop them right, you can actually win something. You get the prize. That's the blessing of the lottery. And if you disrespect it, I believe your team is just going to be trash for years. You disrespect the lottery, your team is going to be trash for years. We've seen it. I hate to say the word process or trust the process, but it does work. And it's not a tank. If you play young guys who don't know nothing as hard as they can, they're going to play hard to win. They're not going to win, though. And that's not tanking. That's just playing young guys to find your star. And this is what Utah are going to do. This is what OKC is going to do. And they're probably going to be better than us again. They're probably going to be better than us soon. Because now we waiting for the next. We want to see if we're going to sell Giannis. Right? Try to sell Giannis, New York City. You could be a big star in New York. Come over here. Nah, we should have drafted him. And I don't know what we did that year. Somebody pull it up. We should have drafted him. Donovan, we trying to sell everything. Let's trade out all our draft pick, homegrown picks. It doesn't matter. Let's get Donovan, who's proven that he can't win by himself. He can't hold it down, but he can't be the guy. So what we'd have done? Trade out all our draft picks, all our assets, all our young players for this one guy, and now we can't build around him, and we just gonna try to sell Donovan Mitchell? Makes no sense. It's the lottery. It's like you have to. And it's so crazy. It's like we're seeing the blueprint. Golden State over there is just drafting people. Sometimes it works, it doesn't work. We don't know if Wiseman is gonna work. We don't know. We don't know if these guys are gonna work. But now they got assets. They drafted Steph Curry, drafted Klay Thompson, drafted Draymond Green. Played these guys. Played them, man. Let them go. Let's see where we at. Mark Jackson developed them. Shout out to Mark Jackson. He should have been our coach. Right now with these young guys, there'll be a star in there. We'll at least know something by now. No, we want to get Tom Thibodeau, whatever, man. Tom Thibodeau. But this is now, we have the future. You see the blueprint with Golden State. Now they got so many assets. They could get Kevin Durant. They could have got Donovan Mitchell if they wanted to. They have the assets. They have the young players. They got the picks. They could get the picks with the young players. They got it all. They ain't even got to touch their core players. They ain't got to go nowhere near those guys. They can just add on salary cap. Let's get Andrew Wiggins. Just add it on. It doesn't matter. We got they solid foundation, and they did that through the draft. There was a time where Golden State's name was trash in the NBA, worse than the Knicks. Now they're the cream of the crop. They got it. They all locked in. They're the team to beat. They're the team that actually people should be aspiring to be. Golden State Warriors. Now you're not gonna find a Steph. Steph is a once in a generational player. That's it. There's probably never be another Steph Curry. But there's players there. There's Clay's there. There's Draymond. There's gonna be Draymonds in the draft coming. It's gonna be these guys. They got Jordan Poole. They say it's better than RJ. Ranked better than stop. Whatever, man. We can argue that. Wait till Toast coming in here. You have more people in here coming through. Subscribe subscribe. Do that subscribe thing. Do that thumbs up thing for me. And then let's keep doing it. But let me finish this real quick about the draft. And I'm so glad that it didn't work out. Because if you look at Cleveland, they draft. They just threw it up in the air. They got Sexton. Then they drafted Garland. And I'm like, why would they draft Garland when they got Sexton? And he's like, well, we need a point guard. One of them's going to work. And we just going to play them and see what happens. And now they found their star in Garland. And now they're able to use Sexton as draft capital. Got a little, boom. They rolled the dice without touching their core. They didn't have to touch Garland, Mobley. They didn't have to touch those guys. Jared Allen. They didn't have to touch none of those guys. They didn't even have to trade their number 5th pick overall and Okoro. My bad if I say his name wrong. I apologize. But Man, they didn't have to trade none of those dudes. And then they bring in a Spider Mitchell. Now you got something. Now they going for it. Now they said, listen, we going for it. Brooklyn fragile. We don't know what you're going to get from the Sixers. Stop putting the Sixers up in there. You don't know what you're going to get from Milwaukee, for that matter. You know, they getting up there. So it's like Cleveland's throwing it in. They saying we can actually do something. We a middle of the pack team. How I feel about Chicago? I feel like this. And if you go through the years, test it out. Google it. Do all your Googles, however it is. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments. Let me know. How many teams have won championships, let alone multiple championships, where their star player was not drafted by the team? You have to draft the star. It's like that's the blueprint. Right? So Chicago doesn't have it. And I didn't like Chicago. I never did. They was built together. Everybody put them good, okay, whatever. They might be good in the East. But Cleveland, they throwing their dice. They throwing it in. They saying, all right, these draft picks, we don't need them no more. We drafted enough. So now we got our star. We got our core. We got our free agents that we brought in. We got some veterans. They still got Kevin Love as a vet, which is good. And it's like now they saying, well, let's add on without subtracting. Let's add on without subtracting too much. And now they got a legitimate contender, if you ask me. If the coaching could put it together and then everything could be put together, I believe there's a shot for Cleveland. And I respected that trade. That's why when they did it, I was shocked because it was like the Knicks is going to get, they're guaranteeing us the pick. We're going to get it, whatever. And I'm like, since there's no other team willing to gut their team for Donovan, let's fall back. I'm not trying to give up our young core. No. I didn't want to give up Obi, Quickly, Grimes. I barely wanted to give up Deuce. I love Deuce too. I didn't want to give up none of them. I'm saying if they got to make that trade and they know Donovan Mitchell went out, I wish he would have forced himself out, but he respectfully, kept it classy. That's cool. I wish he would have forced it straight to the Knicks. Then we would have really, when they had the upper hand. But fine. I was saying if we have the upper hand, we don't trade none of these guys. They want draft picks. Let's get them some picks. Trade Julius Randle. Let's get some picks. Let's get some picks out there, unprotected. I ain't really like giving up all the hours, but we still got capital to make some moves to get picks for them. That's what you did during the draft. So do more. That's what I was expecting. And then we could keep our core guys, our RJ, Grimes, Obi, Quickly. Let's run it like that. It's like, to me, I believe there's too many cooks in the kitchen with the Knicks, man. It's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and everybody's going different ways. Thibodeau wants vets. He wants this. To me, I believe Scott Perry wants every draft pick in the world. Like, if it didn't work out, Scott Perry gonna get you next year. Like, so Scott Perry values draft picks. I think Leon Rose is in that. I think he kind of values draft picks and stuff like that. Worldwide West was supposed to be for the free agents, right? He was supposed to get the free agents, reel them in, and all of that. But we wasn't even ready for free agents yet. So my whole thing was, where's the disconnect? It has to be Tom Thibodeau, who wanted to play Alec Burks big minutes for no reason. That's the disconnect. That's where it's wrong. Because to me, I'm seeing the front office kind of want the young guys. They drafting these guys. They believing in these guys. They ain't want to trade them. You know what I mean? To get a Donovan Mitchell. Because they like, listen, the last regime, if I'm Leon Rose, I'm like, yo, listen, the last regime didn't draft Donovan Mitchell. That's not on me. That's not on me. I got guys that you love. I got Obi. Y'all love him. The Garden loves Obi Toppin. Period. How many points he averaged? So what? How many minutes? So what? Can he shoot? So what? So what? The boy play every day. He work hard. He gonna get better. That's how we love Obi Toppin. We good. We drafted him. Why do it? Because Phil Jackson didn't want to do it. And he ain't pull the trigger. He wanted to get the French man. And listen, shout out to Frank. I loved him for 3 years. We hold on to our own. I'm blaming the organization. Like, they didn't give Frank a chance. If they would just start Frank, and he'll be in a good situation. You gotta learn. You can't play. He was playing behind Alfred Payton. Alfred Payton had a guaranteed spot in that roster that Frank didn't have. So it's like, I don't even want to blame Frank. Why are we dissing Frank? You should Stephen A. Tomorrow, Frank. So what? We love him. We still rock with Frank. It was almost like it wasn't really his fault. We couldn't really grade him. He never had a chance. He's number 8 overall pick and was playing behind Alfred Payton. What sense does that make? I can't. It's like you're going different ways. Then with Kevin Knox, the same thing. We knew what Marcus Morris was. Why are we getting him? He's not gonna move the needle to get us. No, play Kevin Knox. Let's see what the boy has. We are rebuilding. We're not retooling. We was rebuilding. Why is Kevin Knox coming off the bench from Marcus Morris, man? Shout out to Kevin Knox, because he never had a chance. They say slow, no motor, whatever. Players play at their own pace. If we'd have gave him a chance to play, who knows? We didn't respect the lottery. This is my whole thing. We didn't respect the lottery. Frank Ntilikina, Kevin Knox. No. Let's respect it. We draft these guys. We play these guys. We drafted Obi 8th overall. But yet to play him 5 minutes, 10 minutes a game. And everybody's saying we should have drafted Halliburton. Yo, Halliburton got a chance to play. Obi needed a chance to play, man. Just play. You drafted him 8 overall. Play him. Julius Randle's not doing nothing. And I don't want to sound like a Julius Randle basher or hater, none of that. That's not me. I'm just saying that he's not doing. He's not. And you want to do what's best for the team? Okay, Julius Randle does not fit. Slow it down. He needs the ball in his hands. He cannot have as many turnovers. Your power forward cannot have as many turnovers as he had. How's Tom Thibodeau putting the ball in the hands of a walking turnover? But yeah, he's preaching excellence. But he's giving the ball to the walking turnover that does not know how to see a double team coming. And he goes, yes, give it the ball. ISO, Julius. Makes no sense. We all know that makes no sense. But yet we watching the game after game, hoping that Thibodeau's going to figure it out at 60-something years old. He's not. He's not. He's stuck in his ways. I'm 40-something like that. I'm stuck in my ways. I'm not changing my whole routine now. Not in the 9th inning. Why are we asking Thibodeau? How are we expecting Thibodeau to do that? And by the way, I believe in Quickly. We all believe in Quickly. We're probably going to get less minutes because we still got Derrick Rose, man. Somebody talk to me, man. All I'm saying is respect the lottery. The draft is a blessing. And we got a whole bunch of picks coming up. So if you mad that we didn't get, I'm sure in next year's draft, there's a Donovan Mitchell out there that you don't give up a haul for. A haul you give up, when you give up everything, that's for a generational player. One in a lifetime. Once. Steph Curry's, the LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? His game is impeccable. Say what you want to say. His game is solid. Those are the generational players that you just give them a shot and you say, yeah, all right, listen, we'll build around it. We'll figure it out after that. But if you're not doing that, Spider Mitchell is not that. And please not shade SGA. I respect his game. He's not that either. So let's not even get into that talks. We got with Brunson. I'm rocking with Brunson. I didn't even want that. I want Quickly to run. I just wanted him to run it. Let's see what we got. You got to draft your stars. I don't care what you say. You show me a team that ain't draft their stars. Go watch Winning Time. Watch when they drafted Magic Johnson, how it just boom. It's nothing but excellence in LA. They respected their drafts. Getting Kobe, drafting Kobe Bryant, man, changes the whole trajectory of your team. If you make the right draft and you respect that draft, and you give it a chance, you believe in it, you go. Like, they had Eddie Jones, I believe, and they had Kobe. Just like, all right, Eddie Jones was a baller. I dare you front on Eddie Jones. We got to give it to Kobe, though. We got to run it. It's something we believe in. We got to give him. We cannot have this taking his minutes, taking his time to grow. You can't do it. Peace. It's Kobe's go. Let him shoot his air ball. Let him shoot his air ball in the playoffs. He had to shoot that air ball. He had to get that off. Let him shoot his air ball. It's cool. Man, yo, you gotta let him get that off. And now then he became a beast. And now you can't be stopped. And now he was Kobe Bryant. You don't put people in front of them. You don't draft these guys and be like, oh, well, he's just a rookie. I don't believe in potential. I don't believe in potential. What are you talking about? The Chicago Bulls saw that Michael Jordan had the potential to be a really great shooting guard. They didn't know he was going to be the best ever, but they seen the potential to be seeing a really good shooting guard. Right? They didn't go put, World Be Free in front of him. They didn't put, I don't know, I probably throwing names. You can Google that. They ain't put a established guard in front of Michael. They said, Michael, go. Third pick. He wasn't the first. He was the third. It was like, Michael, go. And whatever happens, happens. That's what we got to do as Knicks. Draft our guys. We got 11 picks. Make all 11. Make all 11 picks. Get the guy you want. I'd say remove the coaches, get a whole new system, and then we draft according to how our coach want, whatever. But that's just my idea. You can sign me up. I'm telling you, that's the best idea. It works. Everybody's listening to the analytics. It works. Draft them. But I say get the coach first. Get the coach first. I wish people watched that interview that the glove Gary Payton did on Vlad. Whatever. You can hate him or love him, but it was on Vlad. And there's a great interview because he explained how the Supersonics was going to trade him and Sean Kemp. Because the coach at the time was just old school. He had Hall of Famers. He was coaching the Larry Birds, Kevin McHale's, Robert Parrish. He was coaching these veterans that came in every day and was superstars. Now you got to learn. Now you got to develop guys. You got to develop. Gary Payton was raw. Sean Kemp was raw. You got to develop them. You got to see potential in them. And if you can't see that potential in them, then you're not going to use them. You're going to trade them to probably for guys that already reached their potential. It's like, that's the whole thing. It's the formula. You see it. Gary Payton said it. Then they got my man. Oh, that's me. Y'all know his name. Put it in the darn comments or whatever. Once they got that new coach, oh crap. And it's crazy. He's a Hall of Fame coach. Shout out to him. I can't think of his name right now. But he was the main coach. And he came in and they said he got somebody else and they got an assistant coach and they changed the system and they actually used it around Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. And they created gems that should have won a championship. Period. That's what we have to do. Tom Thibodeau, we cannot have him as the coach. As this team is currently constructed, he cannot be the coach of this team. And we're going to be calling for it. I'm telling you, when he's putting the same lineup and he's doing the same crap night in and night out, we're going to call for it by the All-Star break. And it's like, man, we should have knew this earlier. And hopefully Leon Rose's relationship is not that close with Tom because he got to go. Julius Randle also, not that he's a whack player. He's definitely an all-star. And I believe he can help a team win. He just can't be the main guy on this team. He can't. And if Tom Thibodeau sees him that way, that's how it's going to be. Anyway, let me get up out of here, man. That was cool. I'm you know what I'm saying? First one off. This was fun. Hopefully everything recorded right. And hopefully people come back. We're going to talk, man. Shout out to Toast on Deck. He's going to be coming in soon. Shout out to everybody. Half Heights. He's going to be coming in soon. We talked to my man Jay Kelly. He a Laker fan. I'm going to be talking to him soon. Y'all log in, tune in. We're going to have some fun, man. It's going to be a good season. Shout out my Knicks fans. RJ is our star. I'm going to end it like that, man. RJ is our star. Give him all the keys. Give him the keys to everywhere. Matter of fact, his key is the only one that works. Kevin Durant is in the city. Kyrie Irving's in the city. Ben Simmons in the city. These guys are great basketball players. They are great. I'm not denying their basketball skills. They 8 times better than RJ. RJ's our star in the city. Give him the keys to Brooklyn too. Kevin Durant can't go nowhere until he talk to RJ. That's how it need to be, man. He's our star. Let's draft around him and build around him. Let's see what him and Obi could be. Him and Quickly working together. Let's see how him and Grimes work together and how Jalen Brunson could bring a playoff atmosphere and playoff feel. Now he has the knowledge of playing in the playoffs. Let's see how he could do that with these young guys. Let's see Obi play minutes up and down the court. Teams cannot handle that. Let's watch that. Let's give that some time. Let's let that breathe, man. And let's go from there. Everybody's good. Nobody's mad about this trade. We straight. We draft our stars. Let's see who's coming out next, man. All right. This is On Deck Media. Chase on Deck. I'll at you.